Hi, everyone, and welcome to Design+Style podcast, a podcast for designers by designers. And we are your co-hosts, Rachel Moriarty of Rachel Moriarty Interiors. And with me, I have
this slightly Benadrylled Dixie with Dixie Willard Design.
More than slightly. I can vouch for that.
This is going to be fun, folks.
Hang on to your seat. It's going to be a wild ride. All right. So we were cracking up because we typically record in the morning and we're really good and focused in the morning, but we get a little squirrely by the afternoon.
Yep.
And ironically, we are talking about morning journaling and morning magic in the afternoon while we're squirrely. First of all, I love me some morning journaling. Love. And I think I told you, well, look at me right now. I have, if you're listening on YouTube or SoundCloud, I apologize. You can't see what I'm talking about. But this is just in front of me.
Cute.
And that's why I can never stop. And I love them when I love composition ones. Like they have to be a composition book, but they have to be pretty. That is my downfall. I don't buy what I found in the other journals that were just too pretty. I wouldn't crack them open. I wouldn't bleed ink into them. And so for some reason, it's something about it just being like a pretty composition book that makes it not precious. And I can like literally bleed into them.
Are you picky about your pens too? Because I am.
Girl, I need a good ball at the end of my pen. I'm a good yeah.
Mine are those Sharpie pens.
Ooh.
I like the medium weight.
I have to have a medium weight.
Oh, it's so pretty.
But I like a ballpoint, but with like a medium. My writing looks so much better.
Yeah, because it's totally about making it.
It's all about. It's not about manifesting. It's about how pretty my writing looks.
When nobody's going to see it but you.
Hopefully.
I'm the same way. I look at my handwriting sometimes. I'm like,
oh my gosh. Well, I think you and I were talking about it. It's funny when you get into the zone. Let's just before we get too far out, we are in a group called Level Up with Samantha Parker, and she did
Kathy Rasmussen.
And Kathy Rasmussen, I keep forgetting. And I will find any excuse to say Kathy Rasmussen because I just love that last name. Yeah. We dedicated a whole week to what they coined as morning magic. I'm always been a journaler. But not always in a manifesting way. Sometimes my journal can be almost a to-do list. You know what I mean? It's like, It's just really random what comes out of me. Sometimes it can be a prayer. Sometimes it's never really a recap. But I love having kind of a structure around it and some sort of prompts, to do it. It's always nice to kind of venture into someone else's process or someone that has a process when it comes to journaling.
And actually, I think if you are in the Badass Bosses, you can go to the Badass Bosses group on Facebook, and Samantha did all of the things in there too. So I think anybody could go and check it out if they wanted to. But what I loved about it was she added extra things that I had always kind of intended to do, but wasn't quite. So I'm up to 4 journals now.
Wow.
I start with my gratitude journal. So that's the one that I'm doing right after I've woken up, and I'm not a morning person. I'm mad that I'm awake usually. So I have to start off with gratitude to make me get to the point where I'm thinking clearly. The next one I do is my manifesting journal, which is just writing out in detail, as if it was happening right now, what you would like to have happen. So I would like to have one full service client book every month or day or week, depending on what your services are. Or for me, it includes things like my family and how they're feeling. And it's all the things that I would like to have happen, all of my goals, personal. We've done it before. We've talked about vision boards too. So this is kind of the same thing, but it's a little bit more detailed because I think it through and I add a little bit more detail every day actually as I go through. I write the same thing, but it ends up getting more detailed each day. So I just copy it and then add a little bit of stuff. So that's the second one that I have. And then I have my thoughts journal, which is just me thinking through ideas that I have, things that I want to do. If I'm having difficulty with something, I might write that down too, just because I can go back later and pick up on patterns that I missed otherwise. And the one I just started, it's actually not a journal. It's a planner, which sounds crazy because I've talked about how much I like Google Calendar and being able to use that and Google Keep. But I'm going to start every afternoon at half hour before I'm supposed to be done, writing down my plans for the next day. So all of those little things, the little details like, oh, when I go to Susie's, I need to take the tape measure. When I go to Joanne's, I need to take the paint swatches or, whatever, those kinds of thoughts. And then writing them down because I'm the type of person, I'm a kinesthetic learner. So actually physically writing it out means it's going to stick in my head just a little bit better. So I'm up to 4 journals where I just had the one before we started this morning routine.
Okay, I'm letting it sink in. I'm open. I
Doesn't
love.
mean I like mornings any more than I did before that.
Well, what's nice about it is it was unstructured enough where it could be wherever. The point of it is to, I think, for people that are in the season that I'm in, where it's very rushy, it is nice to get up that extra hour early or whatever before, because I get hit up. I mean, my daughter wakes up hungry. She doesn't say good morning. She's like, I want breakfast. Like that's the first thing she does so it's like, as soon as my daughter's up, it's done until I drop her off at school. Yeah. So I have to get up a bit earlier for me, set the tone, for the rest of my day. And just to, I have a better attitude with even just those things like making breakfast.
It's all there. You don't have to, just getting it out of your head, I guess, is the thing that makes the biggest difference for me. And I would prefer, let me back up and try that one again. Thank you, Benadryl. The nice thing about all of this journaling is kind of like Rachel was saying, you don't have to do it first thing in the morning. So for someone like me, I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock every morning just to be able to do this. I just make sure that at the time I'm getting up, it's the first thing that I do. Or it could be something that you do every night before you go to bed. So kind of like I've split mine up. So I've got 3 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. The other thing is I like the way it kind of brackets my day and it makes the transitions easier. Like I'm ready to think about work by the time I'm done with my morning journaling. And then after I've gotten out all of my plans done at the end of the day, I don't think about them the rest of the evening. I can think about spending time with my husband.
It's so true. There's so much that goes on in our brains that takes us out of the game. Mm-hmm. So when I think how motivated I am by my family to have left a very lucrative career in banking, even though it wasn't my lane, it was a very well-paying, stable career. And, I did it to be able to drop my daughter off and, pick her up and all that stuff. But my work can be so consuming because we love we're so, we love our work. And it can kind of take me out of the family game, which is my number one reason my big why is my
Right.
family. I've said it several times. So it's funny how um it's the motivator, but like it's the thing that can get pushed to the side too,
Yeah.
and so for me to take that time for me in the beginning means that when she's up, I can go ahead and joyfully
Mm-hmm.
do what I need to do, and at the end of the night, the same thing. I think I will maybe implement that. I think it'll help me sleep
Yeah.
if I'm not waking up. But I like that what did you call that last notebook?
It's my, it's a planner.
Planner. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I,
it's literally a planner that has a space for, the time slots.
oh,
And then
yeah.
it has a little space for notes at the bottom on each page. And so just sitting down with it,
My
that's what I'm
calendar
doing.
My paper calendar is awesome because it's got the month at a glance, and
Mm-hmm.
then you turn it over, and then it's got the days, it's got your top three like
Uh-huh.
things, and then it's got like a whole thing you can list. At the bottom, it's got thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be like my last thing at night. I literally
Yeah.
think that would help me
Yeah.
sleep better if I knew I was going to get up and do this. Because sometimes I'm just so ADD about my days.
Well, yeah.
They're just like, what do I want to do? What do I feel like doing? What don't I want to do? What am I avoiding?
Uh-huh.
What do I have to get done? I mean, it's so hard when it's just you.
Well, and one of the things that I know about myself, and I've said it before, um,
And I'll say it again.
and I'll say it again, I can't multitask. Everybody talks about being able to multitask. For me, multitasking just means I'm doing a bunch of stuff poorly.
Yeah.
I do much better when I can focus on my lane,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
current lane, and not all of the other stuff going on. So that's what I like about taking the time to get all that written down. Either the before stuff and the after stuff is because I get it cleared out of my head. I've got the thoughts that I take care of in the beginning of the day. I wrap up the day and then I can move on with all the rest of it. And I have my Google Keep to take down anything I think of during the day. Just
Afterwards.
popped into the group. This episode is actually going to be a week later than we went into the group. It went into the group and showed them my new little toy, which is the Google Assistant on my phone, because I can tell her stuff and she makes a note of it for me, and I don't have to worry about it.
I
Then when I'm
love
doing my
that.
planning, I go back and I check, okay, what were the things that I needed her to remind me of? And it's all
I
right there.
love that. We have to find these tools and apps when you're a solo
Mm-hmm.
because we're not showing up at clients' homes with an assistant. For me,
Right.
when I bring an assistant, it's like at the end, it's at an install day. It's not, hey, let me, figure, I'm doing everything,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the note keeper, I'm the
Yeah.
client,
Yeah.
creating rapport and selling and,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So,
And that doesn't
that's
even count all of the rest of the stuff you do, like your social media and maintaining your website and.
hmm exactly. So that's great. But, have you, so one of the prompts is, start with gratitude, just what you said
Mhm.
is journal one. Samantha Parker does 100 things she's grateful for every morning. Do you do just randomly or do you just,
It's like a mini notebook. It's still college ruled. So there's, I
mhm.
don't know. I don't know how many lines it has, but I fill the front and the back with like one per line. And that early in the
You
morning,
write front and back
sometimes like
with,
three of, I don't fill it like all the way up, but like
yeah.
sometimes it's like coffee. And then 3 lines later, it's coffee.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because I'm reminding myself that I'm sitting there in my bed thinking, well, I'm thankful that I have a comfortable, I mean, I think I'm grateful for other stuff too. I include that, but yeah, I'm not up to 100 yet. Not even
I
close.
know, it's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
It really is awesome. So what I try to do is I try to hit whatever the equivalent of 3 pages of writing is. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Um, for me, that just feels right. I'm not great at like counting how many things. But one of the things I heard I love Oprah. Her Super Soul Sunday just started again. And she had somebody that was on there. And one of the things she said that what she puts on her gratitude journal is, just being grateful, even, because sometimes it's hard to get started
Right.
when you're tired, when your brain's
Mm-hmm.
foggy, and sometimes she'll start, of course we have the roof over our head and we have a nice bed, but even that we have this space of quiet time because,
Yeah.
I think about my sister with her 1 month old, and
There's no
she
quiet.
is not getting that 7 hours, 8 hours of sleep that I'm getting. Um, or, even if you live, we live in a very quiet area, you too,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that wakes us up in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah. So just even you got to dig a little bit, but it's nice to, I'm always listening for little tidbits of
Yeah.
things that I
Well,
can.
and it's kind of cool too, because as I'm going, I think about how even just the basics that I mean, I've got more than the basics, but the basics that I have are so much nicer than what some people out there in the world have. And that just kind of, it
Yeah.
just starts my day off right to know that, okay, I'm comfortable and now I can go and help make other people comfortable too.
Yeah. And so again, back to the super soul thing. The woman said
Oh,
when you
yeah.
start your day off, most people start their days off with a deficiency attitude.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get enough sleep. I woke
Mm-hmm.
up late. I don't have enough time to, hop in the shower. It's just like there's just not enough. People wake up with this not enough thing. But when you wake up and your gratitude list is about sufficiency,
Mm-hmm.
and so heading into the manifesting part of it, I have clients that contact me, or
Mm-hmm.
I have enough clients, or I earn this much money easily every month.
Right.
It's all about sufficiency and not deficiency because
Mm-hmm.
you and I are in groups and we see some people struggling, and a lot of times there's a desperateness about the way they post in groups,
And kind of a self-defeating attitude.
a self-defeating, and it just mirror, it's
Mm-hmm.
just you just mirror it out and that's what you get back.
Mm-hmm.
And so this morning magic has been, is that what she called it?
Yep.
Yeah, morning
Morning
magic.
magic. It's been
uh,
magical.
it has been.
It
I
really
mean,
has
I've always done it, but I haven't done it in this way.
been. Mm-hmm.
And like you said, where you just cover, of course, not everything is work.
Right.
But when we're solopreneurs, our work and our lives, our personal brands and us, I mean, there is very little separation in
Yeah.
between that,
Yeah.
and so when you're doing it, you have to focus on not just the business of design, which we are, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but our support systems, my husband,
Mm-hmm.
your husband, um, your daughter is about to come on
That's
board with
right.
you, which
That's
is
right. I'm
so.
gonna have an office manager very, very soon, and I am. That's number one on my gratitude list right now.
God bless America.
Thank you. Somebody to help me with these things.
It
Absolutely.
is. Yeah, we were already busy enough with our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then we added a podcast thinking it would just be fun.
Yeah, and it
And
is
it
fun.
is. But it's also
There's a little
more
bit of work
work,
involved.
more graphics, more
Mhm.
sharing, more posting, more, so it's interesting. So we're just adding more to our plate. So it's really awesome that you
Yeah,
manifested.
I manifested
You
it.
really did.
I
Because I
did. I
remember
started
when you
writing about
had
it, and it happened almost immediately.
almost immediately, you had
Mm-hmm.
this thought in your head. You were
Mm-hmm.
already interviewing interns.
Mm-hmm.
So weird how that happens.
I know. I knew something was up, but I couldn't figure out what it was. And then boom.
Yeah. And it was also in that clarity that when you took that rest.
Yeah.
and things,
Yeah.
we talked about that. I don't know. Did that post last week? I think it did, the hobbies one. If you
Yes, the
haven't
hobbies.
heard the hobbies one, go back to the
Go back
hobbies
and
one.
listen to it. It was episode 16.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
this will be episode 18. That'll be episode 16. So go back a little bit. And in
Yeah,
between, listen to the other one.
exactly. So, basically when you do, if you want to do some mindset work in the mornings, which I think everybody should,
Mhm.
I mean, we're not trying to tell you what to do, how to do it, but both of us have experienced. You and I were in a real weird spinny thing about a
Yeah.
month ago.
Yeah.
We did a podcast about that where we felt stuck. And this has helped. It's
Oh,
mindset.
absolutely.
I mean, it is when you talk about, manifesting business and
Mhm.
clients and, good relations with your family. And, I mean, we cover everything you value in your life
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
what you can manifest goodness into. I love it.
And as far as the mindset part of it goes, for me, I wouldn't necessarily consider having to take 3 or 4 days off in a row because I was not feeling well to be a good thing, but it was totally a good thing because I had time to think, and it stopped that spinny feeling and I started moving. So I don't know that before this I could have looked at that as an opportunity. I would have just been mad that I wasn't getting stuff done that I thought I should be doing.
Right.
So
Did you put grateful that you were grateful for that time off?
I haven't yet, but it will be on there tomorrow morning.
It's right, because when you're in that state of gratefulness, you
Mhm.
do tend to reframe. There's something about being faithful that things happen for a reason. I mean, you don't you could go either way.
Mhm.
Like, oh my gosh, I got these allergies again and blah blah blah, took me
Mhm.
out. And but that's what's nice about having our own businesses. We have flexible schedules and we can shift things and still get everything done.
Mhm.
um we don't. It's worse when you have can you imagine having to call into your
No.
boss 3 days in a row?
I
Like,
wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't have been able to take the time off. I would have had to have just gone in and basically been a bump on a log for 3 days doing
yeah,
nothing at work, but
yeah.
just so that I
And
didn't lose out on that.
everyone and all your coworkers are like, Dixie says she has those allergies again.
Right. She says it's the allergies, but I bet it's the flu. And if I get sick, uh-huh. It was
Yeah.
allergies, by the
So
way,
that
for my
is,
furry coworkers that
yes.
made them sick.
Yes. So that's something definitely to be grateful
Hmm.
for, just being able to have the flexibility to do that. Oh my gosh. And then look what happened. So many things fell into place after that.
I know. Something that could have been thought of as bad turned out to be really, really great. And I've got a lot of stuff that, yeah, just fell into place. And I've got some good plans going on. And I'm excited. I'm super excited.
Yes. So, yeah, things you can work on: your mindset, your gratitude,
Hmm.
um, general brain dumping, you know,
Yep.
um, just like you said, you have one for thoughts, right? That's just brain dumping,
Yeah.
right?
Just brain dumping, brainstorming and brain dumping.
Brainstorming, brain dumping.
Mhm.
You know what I do a lot of times too is I'm like you, I'm kinesthetic.
Mhm.
Sometimes if I'm thinking of like my website or maybe a service, so we're going into summer,
Mhm.
which means I'm on lockdown again. Remember what happened to me last year? I lost momentum in my business. I wasn't able. It's different. Etienne can drive this year,
But you're
but
ready for it this year.
that's what started my Facebook live streams. Was I
Mhm.
lost momentum in my business last summer. So what I'm going to do this year is I'm actually going to probably do some ads for some e-designs. I'm going to probably
Oh,
start
yeah.
promoting so
Yeah.
that I can get some projects, but I don't have to leave.
Mhm.
So yeah, you're right. I'm more prepared this year than I was last year. But what I do is just saying that. So if I'm going to be promoting my e-designs, I sort of take my like your thoughts journal out,
Mhm.
and I actually kind of do a bird's eye view. So if I do, if I target a client or whatever, then here they come, and then where are they going to go next? And then, kind of
Uh-huh.
like, I think people call it a sales funnel or a path or whatever.
Mhm.
But I kind of need to hover over things and kind of draw,
Yep.
with arrows and
Yep.
stuff like that. So that's another thing. Like you said, it could be brainstorming,
Mhm.
doodling, or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I don't know about yours, but mine has everything from half-written blog posts to sketches to doodles to just all kinds of different stuff in it, just because it's whatever I need to get out of my head.
Yeah.
That's what I'm putting down there.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like 15 different people wrote in my journal.
Yes, mine does too. My handwriting, and Rachel and I have talked about this before. Our handwriting changes depending on what's going on when we're writing.
And when I get in a real flow, when you are connected to whatever
Mhm.
that is, I think they call it automatic writing, but my writing is not even on the lines anymore. And
Mhm.
it's, I don't even know what it says half the time. It's just like crazy, but it's cool because it's just flowing through my body to my pen and into my journal.
Something weird, which I don't know if it makes a difference or not. So my gratitude journal has lines. My manifest journal has lines. My thoughts journal does not. It's just blank pages.
Ooh,
Hmm. So that kind of makes it,
interesting.
I feel less constricted. And
You
because for
intentionally
me,
got,
that's one of those things that it's going to do. It's going to make me feel constricted. Like I have to stay on the line. Whereas when it's blank, my options are completely open.
yeah. Ah, that is a good tip.
It works for me.
Yeah. So tip one, if you're one of those people that, get beautiful journals and can't crack them open because they're too precious, these are the bomb. Pretty composition books.
Hmm.
Um, if you want one for thoughts, no lines. I love that. I love that.
It's a lot more fun and
And
freeing,
freeing.
which I'm one of those people who I can really get stuck on those lines. So,
Yeah, I know. I just never even thought about it. But yeah, you're right.
mhm.
Darn it. I've been writing between the lines.
Yeah. Okay. Tip number 3 then would be get a pen that you love, that it
That
makes
you
you happy to use.
love. I have to have colors too. Sometimes I have pink, sometimes I have green.
Ah.
I do
See,
colors.
I like straight black and white for mine.
I'm not shocked. I
No,
mean, this
no,
is Design
really,
and
I'm not
Style.
shocked
This
that
is
you know
Dixie
color.
and Rachel.
I think we just kind of defined each other perfectly, just with our pens. I mean, I do like different colors, and like I find that if I'm writing a blog post, which I don't usually do in my journal,
Right.
then I love to have a colored pen because it somehow connects to that creative side of
How
me just a little bit
funny.
more. I don't know why.
That's so funny. So yeah, if you're like me and you just like creative, visually
Mhm.
pleasing, whatever, go get colored pens. They still have to have the same ball end, though.
Yes,
They
yes,
have
I'm
to have
picky
that
about that.
same, it's about the way it feels on the paper. That's
Hmm.
that's what it is for me.
Oh,
But yeah,
absolutely.
I have to have colored pens. But it's not like I switch up during. Once I pick one up, I that's
Hmm.
the one for that day.
Hmm. Interesting.
There's no right way to journal.
There really isn't. For me, it's just that I really love the way that one particular pen looks on the paper. And it's for me, and I'm going to go back and enjoy it again. And I enjoy it more when I'm looking at that pen. Whereas a quick blog post on something else, I don't have a problem with. I like the colors then. Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
that is so crazy. I love
But
it.
I guess the bottom line is this is for you. It's not for anybody else. Nobody's going to come and grade your work. Nobody's going to come and grade your handwriting. Something I'm working on is nobody's going to come and fix my grammar. So it's okay if I misspell something or if I don't get the words perfect in my sentence.
How funny,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I have a tendency to correct it. So I'm trying to just go with the flow for now. That's my goal for the next couple of weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Um, has for me, what it did for my business though, I think it, I was in that weird funk
Mm-hmm.
and was right around the time we started this challenge. And of course, the phone started ringing again.
Yeah.
I think I was in a funk because it was like I had some projects that had stalled. I had this like go, 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 where it's like install, install,
Mm-hmm.
install. And then I had, stalls on projects and the phone wasn't really ringing and I wasn't really you know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
so, right, that was right around when this happened. And then everything it just reframes everything.
It's
You
been
get your
awesome. It really is. And I've said it before. I and I'll say it again. I think I said that earlier.
Grandma
But
Dixie over there. I said it before and I'll
well,
say
you
it
have the
again.
gray
You
hair,
gotta
so
wag your finger when you say that.
I didn't think that any of this would ever work.
And
Like,
oh,
I'm one of those
really?
people who would poo-poo the whole vision board idea or poo-poo the
Shut
whole
up.
journaling idea. And then I tried it and it freaking worked. Because it's all about I don't necessarily agree with some of the woo-woo stuff that some people say or the other people say. I'm very sure about my beliefs, but it's a mindset thing. It's not a woo-woo thing. It's changing the way you're thinking about something
Mhm.
and thinking about what you want.
Yeah. If you
It
are,
works.
let's say, if you are a Christian, you can open the Bible to a favorite verse and write it at the top and let that be something that sinks in. It can be whatever. If it
Hmm.
sounds like, if people don't like the word manifesting,
Right.
you
Goals,
know, goals,
future
speak it into being.
vision.
Speak to
Hmm.
those, if your business is the dead bones, you want to be speaking to those dead bones,
That's right.
so, however it's comfortable for you. That's the thing. That's the beauty about it. But, that's why some people start off with devotionals. Maybe
Hmm.
you start off writing a devotional
Hmm.
and then write on that, and that will
Absolutely.
be a mind shift for you. That's all we're
Absolutely.
talking about is just being positive and you
Hmm.
attack your work, you're if you get a phone call, you're open, you're friendly, you're smiling. They
It makes
feel
a huge
that.
difference.
Yeah, such a
Huge.
big difference. So, morning magic.
It's delightful. It's magical.
It's magical. It's effervescent.
It is. Or at least you will be after you try it. Just like Rachel.
Just like me. You want to be effervescent? Write your journal. Um, So that is today's episode
Mhm.
of Design and Style. And where can they hang out with us?
They can come and hang out with us on Facebook in our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/ Design and Style Podcast. Or if you just want to hit the search box, we are the Design+Style Club.
That's what I thought. I thought because we changed it.
Yeah.
That's what when you said that.
The name matches up. The URL is slightly different. You just have to remember that it's the podcast. But the name is to help you remember that if you want to go to the website, it's designandstyle.club, not .com.
Not .com,
Plus,
.club.
how fun is club?
We
I
like
mean,
to go
seriously.
clubbing. We are major clubbers. Obs.
Say the two homebodies. Anyway, come and hang out with us. We would love to see you and hear what you think.
All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye, everybody.